how you going? It's Donna here, and today I'd love to introduce you to Hudson. Hudson is a beautiful brindle greyhound, and I've met Hudson basically due to the fact that I'm learning animal massage at the moment, and so I put out a post in a animal rescue Facebook page just asking if anyone had any dogs that'd be happy for me to massage as a part of my practice and my prac placement. And Angela put her hand up and said, yeah, I've got a couple of greyhounds. So awesome. I went over and met Angela, and it turns out that she's used to work for the GAP program, which is in South Australia. We have a GAP program. It stands for Greyhound Adoption Program, where basically greyhounds are adopted out to families after they've finished their racing career. Obviously, they're retrained first and so forth. And yeah, so Angela had recently come across Hudson and decided to take him in herself because he was a little bit of a special case. So anyway, the first couple of massages, basically Hudson just wanted to run away each time, which, you know, it's understandable. A dog's just moved into a new home. He'd only been there for about 10 weeks, I think it was. So you kind of understand that he's getting used to things, and it can take anywhere from 3 to 6 months for a pet to get used to being in a new home once it's been rehomed. But yeah, the image of Hudson there is after I had done a little bit of massage on him, just a tiny bit. He just wanted to keep running away and eventually ran into his mum's bedroom and just pretty much hopped on his bed with that sorrowful look on his eyes, So yeah, so I got chatting with Angela, and it turned out Hudson had come in from New South Wales. They didn't know too much history about him because he had come in from New South Wales. Apparently there weren't so many records, I think, kept, or that she wasn't able to access any records at the time. But, you know, we were chatting, and she said, you know, they nickname him, her and her husband nickname him Snag, sensitive new age greyhound. And we got to chatting about just how sensitive he was, and I thought, why not do an animal energetic healing session on him and see what comes up? So she was in agreement with that, so I did the session. Yeah, so basically I set the intention to discover why Hudson is so overly sensitive, especially when a male disciplines him in a positive way, and to help him balance his sensitivity levels to enable him to be his authentic self. So yeah, basically one thing that really got noted was the first time Angela's husband told Hudson off, just normal discipline, just, you know, no, like you do with any dog. Yeah, Hudson wouldn't talk to the husband anymore. He pretty much stayed clear of him, didn't want a bar of him. And they thought, you know, Angela's been around greyhounds for many, many years. She knows them really, really well. She knows their personality. She knows what they're like. And she said even this sort of stumped her a bit. You know, it was definitely peculiar for a greyhound to not speak to their owner for so long. You know, I mean, it's probably normal for cats, but not so much for dogs. Anyway, so I started the session, and basically my sessions operate on a priority basis. So whatever needs to be healed first with regards to the intention that I set will always be healed first. And the first thing that came up were emotions. And the first emotion that came up, I've just got his record here, was bitter. Now what I'll do is just show you when I am trying to discover what an emotion is. I have this 5-element emotion chart, which basically you have your element, you have meridians in each of these sections, and then within each of those sections there you'll see a list of emotions. So it's very much Chinese medicine based, which has been around for many, many years. And basically what came up for Hudson was the earth element, the stomach meridian. I don't know if you can read that or not. And then right down the very bottom there is bitter. So that's basically I use a pendulum to decipher that. Yeah, so bitter came up, and obviously bitter isn't a very positive emotion, so I looked into that. First thing I always ask is whether or not it's the dog's own emotion or whether or not they've picked it up from a human, because in most cases they pick it up from humans. But in this case, no, it was Hudson's own emotion, which was quite unusual. So then I look into when did the emotion become an issue for the animal, and it became an issue for Hudson February 2020, which was pretty much when COVID was all up and running. It sort of got started in Australia sort of end of January, but once February it was just like, yep, COVID is here. So it started then, and when I checked with my pendulum to say, you know, when COVID started, it swang like really, really fast, really, really hard. So definitely had the date right. Then I asked, was it to do with a male or a female? So a male came up. I wasn't sure whether it was a trainer or an owner, but a male came up anyway. What came up as I kept questioning was that this male was nasty to Hudson. I asked if there was any physical abuse associated with bitterness, and there was no physical abuse, but there was yelling. So I was able to release that anyway with a statement. And then the next thing that came up was unhappiness. Once again, it was Hudson's own emotion, and it was to do with his living situation. So I was able to release unhappiness and balance his happiness levels. I didn't actually go into whether there was any abuse involved in this one, because it was all to do with his living situation. And there was another emotion that came up, which kind of said it all, really. Let me just scroll down. It was dread. So yeah, dread was the third and final emotion that came up for Hudson, which once again, start of COVID, to do with a male, a very angry male. And this time the emotion was associated with physical abuse. Basically with COVID, the male stuck at home being aggressive, so I guess he had no other outlet but to physically abuse the dogs. Which, yeah, you know, it's never a pleasant thing for this stuff to come up, but at the same time it's a good thing that I'm able to release these emotions from the dogs, which will help them in the long run. Anyway, what came up next was basically on the spiritual side. Hudson needed his root chakra balanced, which kind of makes sense. Root chakra is all about grounding, it's survival instinct, it's feeling safe and secure. So considering what I'd found out about his background, it made complete sense that he would need his root chakra balanced. He also needed his solar plexus, which is all about the center of personal power and will, which obviously he wouldn't have much of that if he was in a situation where there was abuse. And lastly, his heart chakra needed balanced as well. So that comes up often when we're dealing with rescues or rehomed animals. I mean, obviously they're being taken away from somewhere. Yeah, they just really need their hearts cleared and balanced, the heart chakra, cleared and balanced. It's all to do with unconditional love, the human-animal bond. Yeah, so it was nice just to be able to balance his heart again and hopefully help with the bond, the human-animal bond with his new owners. Sorry, a bit of a mental blank there. Minor chakras, basically dogs have 9 major chakras. Humans have 7, dogs have 9. They have an extra chakra sort of right here called a sensing chakra, and they also have a brachial chakra, which is sort of, I guess, at the front of the shoulder blade area, sort of wraps around to the other one, the brachial. Anyway, 9 majors, but they also have minor chakras. And the minor chakra that came up, which was really significant, was the self-preservation. And considering what we'd learned about Hudson's past, self-preservation makes complete sense. It's all to do with the adrenals or the red alert state, that fight or flight. And I would say that Hudson was a bit of a flighter, considering he kept wanting to run away from me when I tried to massage him. Yeah, a couple of other things came up, but nothing too full on. A couple of essences were required to balance the emotions that I had released earlier. One was fear no more, which is to help animals deal with fear of the unknown, fear of the known. Yeah, so that kind of makes sense considering there was physical abuse there. And also rescue animal recovery came up, and that's basically to assist animals who are either currently in rescue or have been rescued. It's designed to energetically clear issues of abandonment, abuse, neglect and trust. So, you know, and it also helps them to understand they're in their forever home now, which is really, really nice. So yeah, that was basically the report, everything that came up. So I sent that to Angela. She had looked through it and obviously showed her husband. Her husband's the kind of guy who likes to prove people wrong, especially when they're like spiritual woohoo stuff. So he decided to get on a mission, and him and his wife decided to spend some hardcore time delving into Hudson's past. They were able to access some more reports and things, and pretty much everything that came up in the healing session was true. It turned out it was a male trainer. He got discovered for physically abusing Hudson at a race, at an actual race. This was in 2023. No, 2022, I think. Yeah, I think it was 2022. But obviously the physical and verbal abuse could have started a lot earlier than that. Obviously, well, my healing exposed it as starting a lot earlier than that. So this guy got caught 2 years after. Verbally abusing the dogs, and when the welfare people delved in further to discover what this kind of guy was like, yes, it was discovered that he was physically abusive to the dogs as well. So sad. It's never pleasant, you know. It's, I don't know how people can harm these innocent dogs, an innocent animal, you know. They're sentient beings just like us. Yeah, but anyway, the great thing about it was I was able to release these emotions and, you know, balance a few chakras. It was interesting just after my healing session, because Angela didn't know when I was going to be doing the healing, and what had happened, because this was just like it was an informal healing, this one. And so what had happened was I let her know afterwards that I'd done the healing, and she was like, oh, because a little bit beforehand, which would have been when I got started, she was like, Hudson was just standing there, just standing, doing nothing. And it was like, now we know why, because he was starting the healing session. And pretty much straight after, Hudson is now talking to Angela's husband. He's like lovey-dovey up against him, like searching for pats and scratches and love. So that's really, really sweet. And what was I going to say? Anyway, the healing session was able to release what it needed to release for Hudson to feel a lot more comfortable again in his home, in his environment. And apparently Hudson is really coming out of his shell. Now, the beautiful thing about this is the first time ever where I've met the dog beforehand and met the dog again afterhand, because I'm still practicing the massage on him, and I can see the difference. Like, there is no denying this dog has come out of its shell, is a lot more accepting of me massaging him. Yeah, it's amazing. So I just thought I'd share that story with you. I think it was a really nice one. Yeah, so I'll leave it at that. Hope you're having a great day, great evening, great night, wherever you are, and hopefully I'll see you again soon. Bye.